Hi, and welcome to Fretwork Central, the place to learn guitar and bass. In this video, we're going to learn some picking licks. So let's get into it. There are very few things that you can learn how to play on the guitar that are as much fun as picking licks. And we got some good ones today. We're going to be playing in the key of E minor. That means we're going to be playing the notes E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E. We're going to be using symmetrical patterns on strings 1 and 2. Starting at the 3rd fret on the 2nd string, that's the note D, and we're going to play D, E, F sharp. Next string, G, A, and B. Then we're going to move up one mode in the scale from D to E. That just means moving up from one note to the next note in the scale. Play E, F sharp, and G, A, B, C. Then we're going to move from the E to the F sharp, G, A, B, C, D. And then one more time to a G, play G, A, and B, C, D, E. Now, I've said this before and I will keep saying it. Besides tuning, the absolute most important thing that you're ever going to learn about playing this guitar is where the notes are. Every string, every fret. A sharp, B flat. That quick, every time, every place you go. In order for you to develop this ability, you have to know every time you put your finger down exactly what note you are playing. So while we're going through some of these licks and reading the tablature in that, I want you to think about what these notes are. We're starting off with a D, playing D, E, F sharp. Then in the next mode, it's E, F sharp, G. Then F sharp, G, and A. And G, A, and B. It's not very difficult to memorize just those couple fret locations there. Then on the first string, we're playing G, A, and B. A, B, C. B, C, D. C, D, and E. We could memorize those as well. You can also just go across the strings. D, E, F sharp, G, A, B. Goes alphabetical. Remember, we're playing F sharp, not F. D, E, F sharp, G, A, B. You could do that with each one of these patterns, and I think I have made my point on that. Okay, number one. We're going to do a little picking thing here. But first of all, let's talk about the picking. We're going to use strict alternate picking. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. I favor a particular picking style where I arrange notes, an even number of notes per string, starting with an up stroke. And what I mean by that is this. For example, if we do a pattern here where we play all 4 of our fingers on one string, it's 4 notes, that's an even number. So we could start with a down and pick down, up, down, up. And the next string, same thing, would be a downstroke. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, and so on. If we start with an upstroke, it would be the same with an upstroke. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. You can practice it either way, and I do have a video on these chromatic kind of exercises where we do stress practicing it both ways. But for me, starting with an up on even number of notes per string absolutely works better. And I'll give you an example here. If I wanted to run down through this, that's using a downstroke. If I used an upstroke, no competition. And descending, if I used a downstroke, that would be terrible. But with an up, and I'm so comfortable with that now, I could just jump around. So a lot of these exercises and picking things that I do are arranged with an even number of notes per string. Now, in order to get going, we actually have an odd number, so we can start with a downstroke. So we'd pick down, up, down, and the next string would be an up. Now, if we stay in this position and go up and down the strings, there's an odd number. We're going to start off with 3, but then we're on an up and we pick up, down, up, down, up. So the next pick stroke would be a down, and we're switching strings. So we're going to pick down, up, down, up, down. The next one would be an up. And if we had long lines like this, we'd be switching pick strokes every time we switched strings, which just is not very smooth. I almost can't do it. So what I like to do is arrange some of this with an even number of notes per string. In this case, what we're going to do is once we get to that highest note, we're going to repeat that note and come back down. And then once we get to the lowest note, we're going to repeat that note and start going back up. And that would go something like this slowly. Now, if we do it that way, it's an up on every new string. So we're picking down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Now we're up, down, up, down, up, down. And then it's up on the next one. And it'll keep going that way as long as we keep playing even number of notes per string. It could be 2 notes, 4 notes, 6 notes, 8, 10, whatever, it doesn't matter. Now, if we stay in that position, one other thing, we are kind of feeling an accent on beats 1 and 3. We're playing these as triplets, so very slowly, if we counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 3 are going to be on downstrokes, and we kind of dig in a little bit there. It doesn't matter which pattern you use, you're still picking the same exact thing. So that's number 1 in the diagrams here. The tab is just showing us in the 5th position, but you can move that to any one of these other symmetrical patterns. Number 2 is going to show us a way to get out of this position. What you want to do here is we're going to ascend in the 5th position, then we're going to move up to the 10th fret and descend in this position. Now I will share with you a little fact here. If you play these 3-note per string patterns very much, and a lot of us that kind of grew up in the shred era and are into that kind of music definitely got into playing 3-note per string patterns. If you are playing these scales and you're playing it scale-wise up and down like that, if you stay in a position, you're going to have odd number notes per string. But if you move, it automatically creates an even number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Doesn't matter where you go, up or down, it's going to turn it into an even number of notes per string every time you move. Now, if you repeat notes or you skip notes or things like that, then that's going to mess that up, and you'd have to figure out another way around it. But in order to just do these up and down, as these exercises, what we're doing, we want to switch positions. That's number 2. But we can also do the same thing with any of these patterns. You could just play wherever you are and then move up to the next one and come down. Another thing you could do is, this is number 3, where we're actually going to what we're doing there is going up in this position, moving up to the next one and coming down, going back to the 5th position, and then going up to that higher one, and just mixing it up. This is just an example of how we can mix this up. You could just go crazy with that. All right, so for now, we're just going to leave it at that. And you could go through and very slowly and with the metronome, play these daily and build up speed as you go along. And before you know it, you're going to be ripping right through them. All right, so in the next video, we're going to look at some more lines like this, and so we can get ready for that. All right. Thank you for being here, and we will see you in the next video. As always, tune your guitar and keep making great music.